Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Hey, it's James the Orator. Here with Super Speak Sundays. Hey, it's been a while. You know what? I looked at the archives and I haven't taped since October 30th of 2022. You know what? I miss y'all. So many people have reached out to ask, hey, when is the next episode? Well, you know what? We're back. We're back, y'all. Right here on Super Speak Sundays. You know what? It's something about learning more about your gift. You know, as I was, you know, not in the mud, but I was beneath the surface, just trying to figure out what was my next move gonna be. You know what? It was something about using my gift, my voice, that brought me back. Along with some friends I'm gonna introduce you today that encouraged me to, hey, let's get this thing going one more time. And so you know what? Here we are. And so I'm representing Gary, Indiana, always, my hometown, love it, the home of Michael Jackson, and so many other greats, including myself. All right. Hey, y'all, we're going to have a great time today. Again, this is, we're not going to call this episode 2, but we're just going to call it the rebirth because we're starting over again, but we're going to pick up where we left off. We also want you to encourage you to continue to watch some of our past episodes where we had some heavy hitters. Reggie Martin, you know, I mean, this guy is the Black Chinaman. You all remember him. My brother Keith Dix, Touchdown RV. And so we want to continue to share information, but we're going to bring some new guests on during this next journey that we're going to be taking. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in our guests today. They're from what we call the firm, the Indy. What is it? The Indy style, the Indy selection. I'm gonna let them tell you. So bringing in my guests, we have Miss Tracy Morris, Miss Tracy Mitchell Strong, Miss Tanisha, and Mr. Carl West. And everybody, hey, say hello to the firm, y'all. Hello. Now, you know what? We always start with a quote, but you know what? I don't have one because, you know, we got enough people on here. We got enough people in here who are theologians and smart folks and people who went to King High School and Gary, you know, all that. We got all that. Who went to King? Nobody go to King? Okay. That's don't worry about it. And so we're going to start off. I want each of you to introduce yourselves. We all are from Gary, Indiana, very, very unique place, a place like no other. And so I'm going to start by asking Miss Tanisha Smith to start off. Who are you, Tanisha?
Who am I? So I am a Chicago native, but I did grow up in Gary. Moved away from the area and came back in 2011. And these are my peeps, Tracy Morris, Tracy Mitchell Strong. We went to high school together. Mm-hmm. And Carl is my extended family because his auntie is my best friend.
Okay. And so you couldn't stay away from Gary. You left the Windy City to come to Gary, Indiana. Tell us about that.
I was younger. So my mom remarried when I was young. But my mom's side of the family was always in Chicago. Even after high school, I moved back to the area, worked at Chicago Board of Trade, worked at Rush University Medical Center, and then Cook County Hospital before I fell in love, got married.
Fell in love, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, something about that love, ain't it? Tracy Mitchell Strong, tell us who you are. Introduce yourself. Oh, you're muted.
Muted. There we go. Bingo.
There you go. Bam. We say bam.
Shazam.
It started already.
Definitely a GI, Gary, Indiana native. Yeah. Have been knowing each individual on here for a very long period of time. Yeah. Definitely a lover of life, a lover of fashion, a lover of God, a lover of people. So also a social service guru for 32 years. So kind of consider myself as a well-rounded individual.
All right. Tracy Morris, who are you?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining in today. I am Tracy Morris. I hail from Gary, Indiana.
Yay.
Deep roots in Gary, Indiana. I am a friend of all of you. Either, best friend with you, James. Thank you for having us today.
Absolutely.
Carl, you are a new friend of mine, but Tanisha and Tracy, I went to high school with. But when you would describe who I am just like Tracy said, a lover of life. I am a person that just kind of lives by the seat of my pants. I love life. I love living. I love fun. I work hard, play hard, have been in the sales IT industry for many, many, many years.
All right.
Industry that is underserved by minorities, by the way. And looking forward to really kind of stepping in to what we do here and exposing Indianapolis to Black events, Black social events that are age appropriate for those that are 50 plus. So I represent the 50 plus crowd that don't have to look 50 plus, and that want to have a mature audience in an event to be a part of. So I'm happy that you have Tanisha. Thank you for setting this up. Tracy, I know all of you had a part of this, and thanks for inviting me. So I'm excited to share what we have and what we're doing in the Indianapolis market today. Indiana is represented across this board today, and I'm excited to be here.
All right, we're happy to have you. We're gonna dig in. We're gonna start talking about Gary and a little bit about this firm. I want to know where the name came from. Carl West.
All right, Carl West here. After all that, I don't really have much to say. I'm really the quiet, shy one of the group. Yeah. I'm the quiet, shy one of the group. But born and raised in Gary, Indiana, Lou Wallace class of 1987. Proud of it. Let's see. I've been in Indianapolis since 1992. I am here because I enjoy connecting people. I enjoy sharing other events that are happening throughout the city. I even started an event and promotions event company in 2013. So this was right in line, as we talked about trying to do this, was right in line with who I am and what I do. And obviously, I like all the rest. I'm involved in several things. I have my own business. And just kind of stay out there, try to stay out in the community and try to connect others. I think connection is really important, and exposing other people to other things. So that's why we're here.
Hey, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. You know, before I brought you all on, we were talking about sometimes the perceptions that people have about those who are from Gary. And so when you start to see people get involved and become movers and shakers in the community, what has this meant to you moving to Indianapolis? I mean, Gary, of course, was a totally different place, a totally a chocolate city, if you will. And so what did that mean when you moved here? Because I want to lay the foundation before we start talking about the firm. What did that mean for you to come in? Was it culture shock when you moved to Indianapolis?
Jimmy, if I can
Oh, you're freezing.
You froze, Tracy.
Frozen, Tracy.
While she, okay,
somebody else go ahead and jump in.
There she is.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, there we go. As a young wife, I moved here with a 1-year-old son. At the age of, I was 24. I was married for a couple years. I had a 1-year-old son. Mm-hmm. I knew that I did not want to raise my son in Gary because of the lack of opportunities and the things that were happening in Gary. Although I love Gary and it is very near and dear to my heart. I knew that my husband at the time and I wanted better for our son.
Right.
And I moved here, to find out that one of the things that I came with from Gary, Indiana, was a sense of pride and feeling like I was, a minority in my city.
Yeah.
I didn't find that here. So what I brought to this city was that pride, that sense of pride, but a place to raise my family and to, raise a son. My first child was a son. So, I brought a 1-year-old here, and coming from Gary, I hated to leave the place that I had kind of sharpened my teeth, if you will, grew up on, met my husband and married my husband. And it was unfortunate that I could not stay there. But Gary is not, it's not the last leg for Gary.
Exactly. Let me just jump in, because I think I don't want you to go too far, because you're talking about relationships and some things that we're going to talk about, because again, relationships as it relates to moving from Northwest Indiana to here is definitely different. Let me hear from Tanisha. What are your thoughts? I mean, you moved from Chicago to Gary and then to Indianapolis. No, you don't live in Indianapolis. You still live in Gary.
No, okay. I moved back to Gary. Actually, when I left Chicago, I moved to Arizona for 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
And I did not like the culture there. I had a young daughter. She was 2 at the time. And just the culture itself, I just didn't feel comfortable with. So my then husband, we decided we would move to Texas, and I fell in love with Texas. I was in the Austin area, very diverse city, and I loved it. But unfortunately, I went through a divorce, and my mom encouraged me to come back home. She said, "This is where your family is." And like Tracy, I didn't want to raise my kids, because now I have a son as well. I didn't want to raise my kids in Gary's with the perception of what I was left with. But I have a different appreciation from home.
Okay.
So it's
Tracy
it's
Mitchell,
different now.
What do you think? What was your experience like, moving from a chocolate city to Indianapolis?
Well, it was definitely a culture shock when I went to college, first of all, in Bloomington, Indiana. That was very different. However, for me, coming to Indianapolis, it was kind of bittersweet, because I figured I wasn't too close and I wasn't too far from being, with my family, which a lot of them still reside there. And I pretty much go home as much as I can. But coming here, it was definitely different. However, I can say that those individuals that I went to school with and those individuals that I know from home that moved here, we were still, kind of able to have, that very close setting, being able to get together and to gather together. So as we, formulated our own, relationships amongst other individuals from Indianapolis, it's kind of like we galvanized other people. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, you're from Gary. Gary people are cool, and yes, they can relate. So therefore, it was very, relating that, that I could, communicate with other people, that I could do other things, with other people, and unite, Indianapolis people with Gary people, and have a good time overall.
Okay.
So,
all right, Carl, what about you? I know you went to Bloomington as well. Talk about your transition to Indianapolis.
So I would agree with Tracy. I think the culture shock really happened going from Gary to Bloomington, going to a population of less than 3% Blacks, just to put it raw. And then when I moved to Indianapolis, obviously you had created a community of friends in Bloomington, and so I connected with a lot of those after I moved here. I got involved in church, and so obviously that created another community. So I did I think what I was missing most was the connection. So you had community, but you wasn't necessarily always exposed to people who could relate to your story and could relate to your background. I think we have a rich legacy coming from Gary, Indiana. The Gary that people see today is not the Gary that any of us experienced. People think Gary is just bad, but I can't say that I thought Gary was bad growing up. It just wasn't that. I mean, obviously we knew there are certain areas that we stayed out of, right? Yeah. But it wasn't a bad area. It wasn't a bad experience. So I have nothing negative to say about my experience in Gary. And so that was, I think, what I was lacking. I just lacked the connection when I moved to Indianapolis, which is why I said connection is really important.
Yes.
Good. Tanisha, you live in Gary now, and I've been seeing a lot of hoopla and excitement about things that are about to happen in Gary. I mean, you see celebrities coming to Gary. Mike Epps was just there. What was that? Yesterday. And so we're gonna get to. As you can see, I'm kind of tying the knots together here. But talk about why is it so exciting about being in Gary right now?
for me, again, when I moved back to the area, I had a different appreciation for home. And I was finding out about different events after the fact. So I was like, it's got to be a way for us to be able to get the information out. So I connected with Lakaya Ayat, who is an owner and creator of Lady Wisdom Natural Skincare. And I actually started a podcast, well, a YouTube channel where she was my first interview person. So we got together and I was like, hey, these are my thoughts. This is what I would like to do. Would you be interested? And she said, yeah, absolutely. So we got other people on board and it actually broadened my horizons as all of the things that's happening in Gary that you just don't realize because people didn't talk about it. We didn't know how to get the word out. So I'm excited about this journey.
And so the firm is created, it's initiated and nurtured in Gary, Indiana. Is that right?
Yes. So we have the firm Gary Edition.
Okay.
And we started that in 2021.
So let's back up. So talk a little bit about, tell me how you came up with the name. What does firm mean? What does that mean?
You know what? Believe it or not, after we got together in our chat, we were just coming up with some stuff. And the firm stuck. It was like, we're together, we're firm, we're going to back each other up, we're going to support one another, and we stand firm on what our mission is, which is networking, promoting, and exposing culture quality events in the city of Gary.
Okay.
So we stand firm on that. So we have the firm Gary Edition.
Okay. And so what's some of I mean, do you have anything coming up in Gary that people need to know about? I know we're going to talk about Indianapolis, but is there anything happening in Gary that we need to know about that's up and coming?
Well, on our Facebook page, we do a 21 gun salute every Thursday that has honorable mentions from Thursday to Sunday of the events that's happening in the city. So Monica Blakemore Tatum and her husband, Gregory Tatum, are the first Black-owned wine bar and cigar bar owners in the city of Gary.
Oh, wow.
So that's our headquarters.
Yeah.
So anything that we do, we support them. So on our Facebook page, which is the Firm Gary Edition, it lists all of the events, honorable mentions that happen for the weekend. Okay. So it's always something happening.
Hey, JD, can I?
Yeah, jump in.
I want to share. I think that the important thing to know about the firm, Gary and Indy Edition, is that it's not just events that we're trying to promote for ourselves.
Correct.
Our objective is to promote events that are already happening, that are already being done by others throughout the city, and we just want to create exposure for them. So we are currently doing this free of charge. We're not making money off of this. We are simply trying to help others to get the word out. Part of the challenge, I think, is oftentimes people are doing everything on one weekend. So you'll go one weekend, there's 5 events, and then for the next 3 weekends, there's nothing happening. So we were really trying to get to the place where we can assist others in managing, seeing what's out there. We keep them abreast, and then maybe as they're looking to do things, they are either contacting us to say, hey, are you aware of things that are going on? And we become a central place for everybody to go to. We want to be the main place that people go to let us know about their events so we can help get the word out.
Right. And to piggyback, Jimmy, it's hard enough for minority businesses or entrepreneurs to get the word out because they don't have a marketing budget. They don't have individuals that are willing to repost their flyers or their events. So that is what I think the firm is really about, is really accelerating and giving individuals that are really out here doing the right things with the right people at right time, that momentum and acceleration to get the word out about their events and promote them. We know it's hard enough as a minority to be accepted in a culture that has a lot of noise and static. So it's nice for us to be there and be part or assist them in making the noise relevant, and like to Tanisha's and Carl's point, helping them kind of put that word out in front of the audience, the mainstream, and that's what I think we're about. I'm an entrepreneur all day long, and I'm looking to do that as well.
Okay, sounds good. Now, Tracy Mitchell-Strong, you contacted me and said, hey, we got to do this. And I'm excited that you did. What is the firm in Indianapolis doing right now?
Well, right now, with Indianapolis, as Tanisha and Carl and Tracy stated, we do post information about those cultural quality events. Matter of fact, there was just a big event that we had here in Indianapolis, and a lot of people really didn't know about it, which was the Butter event, which, you had a lot of African American artists that, showcased, a plethora of their work. And a lot of people didn't know about it. But because we had the firm Indy Edition Facebook page, a lot of people were able to hone in on that and say, hey, oh, what is this about? Let's go check it out. So, it's real essential for us, to be able to have, this venue of the page for people to be able to look and see. And just like myself, although I'm here, there, and everywhere, sometimes I too need to look and figure out, what do I want to do this weekend? What things are jumping off that I can support, that, not only myself, but my family members. So, it's really important, for us to have that page and for that information, to be perused by everyone. It's free, as Carl said.
Now, I know that Tracy mentioned that, if you're 50 or older, so do you have a target market, or are you marketing to anyone who wants to be a part of something? Because, you remember West Side Lounge back in the day in Gary, West Side Lounge, hey, them brothers want to come too, so really, do you have a certain market that you're targeting, or is this just for everyone who people of color who want to be a part of the excitement in Indianapolis?
It's for everyone, all cultures, all races. It's for everyone, because we have posted about I believe there was Frozen on Ice that we wanted people to be aware of, and there were different parts of something that just took place, Black Expo. So there were different vendors and businesses that was at the Black Expo where we actually posted their events on our page also. So no, we want to be open to everyone.
The key, I think, Jimmy, is culture quality events. We want to expose culture, people to different culture, and we want to make sure the events are quality. We're not sharing anything that's going.
Not the wet T-shirt No, we don't do that.
Anything that's inappropriate.
We're not doing.
We're not doing it.
I couldn't put my name behind it. I'm a mother, and I definitely wouldn't want to put my name behind it. And that the firm is. I don't think would ever promote anything that is unethical and inappropriate.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm excited about a lot of what you all are doing. It seems like you really have a really good chemistry. I know before we came on, we were all laughing. And so what is it that makes this group click? Because you could have brought me in, you could have brought somebody else in. What is it that makes this group click that will make this growth, from years on?
As a matter of fact, we're actually missing one member. Her name is Willina McDade. She is an entrepreneur as well. She lives in the Indianapolis area. She's from Gary. But just the fact that I think my connection with Carl and him just saying, we need to do something like this. And then the wheels started turning, and immediately we was like, oh, Tracy Mitchell, she know everything, everybody. I didn't even know that she was there at that time. So I was like, okay, let's do that. And then Jimmy Wilson, he was like, Tracy Morris lives in Indy. Nope, didn't know that. But you know what? We're going to bring her on too. So the fact that we all been knowing one another, that's a connection right there in itself.
And it was an instant chemistry because of the familiarity.
Right.
The fact that you said it at the beginning of the segment, we're all from Gary. When someone you meet is from our hometown, it is an immediate connection. It's just like we're families around the kitchen table.
We do.
And you can't duplicate that. You can't ignore that. It's something about people from Gary, Indiana, that just resonates with each of us. And I when you ask what do you think is going to make this work, that right there, because we sharpened our teeth in Gary. It is a special person. It is a special being. It's a special place, being from Gary, Indiana. And I don't take that lightly. I am proud to be a Gary, Indiana citizen. I rep it to the day I die. I've been here for 27 years.
Yeah.
But home is Gary, Indiana.
Let's see that G on your chest. Let's see the G on your chest.
Again, I know I mentioned this before, but sometimes people from Gary and the city of Gary has a bad reputation for whatever reason. What when you talk about your personal brand, whether it be the firm or individually, what things are you trying to do to combat the perceptions that people have about Gary, Indiana folks?
Well, I think just one of the things we said. No, I think as we talked about, I think one of the things we said, we want to promote culture quality events. So as we're looking at the things that we're promoting, as how we show up for the things that we're doing personally. So we do have a major event that we're having for ourselves, that as we have those things, we want to present the proper way so that people begin to see us in a different way.
Absolutely.
Part of that is just how you present. People going to judge you based on what they see, even before they hear anything come from your mouth. And so we try to present that in everything that we do. Our page is going to represent who we are. Yep. All of us are professionals, and we try to present that in the work that we do, whether it's in our entrepreneur work or in a professional setting. We try to present that.
And
there are so many young ladies and young men who are under 50 years old, under 40. If you had to deliver a message to them, not just about the firm, but about being able to represent the city of Gary to the best of our ability. Because again, we know what we're doing with the firm, but what message do we have for the young lady who has low self-esteem, or the young man who doesn't know how to become a man? I mean, do you feel like you have some responsibility in that area as well?
Absolutely, Jimmy. I've always been told by my grandmother, who would have been 116 years old this year. My grandmother told me two things. It is our responsibility to reach back and help those that are coming behind us, right? Because those folks that are ancestors and our elders have helped us, right? But the one thing I can say is, be how you want to be addressed, right? Dress how you want to be addressed. If you want to be seen in society as a professional, as someone that is taken seriously, be someone that is serious about their business. As Carl said, just to piggyback off of that, I try to represent myself and bring forth the professional that I am. I have a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah.
Right. But I try to present and bring a professional, respectful demeanor and decorum in everything that I do.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I can't impart in anyone if I'm ratchet. Okay. And I'm disrespecting myself. And so that being said, dress like you want to be addressed. If you want to be taken seriously, act like you're about your father's business.
There you go.
Period.
There you go. That's it.
Right. And so I know that the firm stands on not promoting, events that are disrespectful, unethical.
Right.
Anything that would go below the line.
Right.
I couldn't be a part of it personally.
Right.
So I would remove myself respectfully. Right.
Right.
So I think when you talk about these young women, they need us, right? They see us as these figures. They get too much chatter and pop culture and noise from social media. There has to be a place in which
we're visible.
They are seeing women
that
are having fun.
That's it.
That don't look like they're 150 years old.
Got you.
Doing things.
You funny.
Is appropriate.
There you go.
A lot of times they don't know better because they've not been taught better.
Right.
So it is up to us to be the example.
Yeah.
I would say to the young man and to the young woman, and I'll say this quick so that both Tracy and Tanisha can add in. You don't have to be a product of your environment. And a lot of people use the excuse, well, I'm from Gary and this is what I was exposed to. You don't have to be a product of your environment. And you don't have to forget where you came from either. So you can appreciate what you learned, the values that you were taught, which I think all of us can say we received that. We created connections and family. I was like, just thinking back to your comment to me, Jimmy, about your mom and how, I want to be a blessing to my son, right? You don't have to forget those values and those things in relationships, but you do not have to be a product of your environment. Exactly. You can change your environment. You can change your altitude based on changing your attitude.
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. All right. That's a whole nother conversation.
It is
a whole conversation.
I flip the script on you and say, well, hey, it's somebody else who's saying, well, man, but we won't get all of that because
you have to be open to receive that information, and some young ladies out here don't want to receive it. So
exactly.
And presentation is everything.
Yes,
absolutely.
When you look good, you feel good. When you know better, you do better. So I think with each of us, we bring that level of professionalism. Just like Doc, you and I know within the social service area, people know what I do. And if there are pressing issues and they don't want to, ask 50 million people, they know that they can inbox me and say, hey, I'm having this issue. I know you work with kids. And I get this a lot. I know you work with kids, or I know you work with people in domestic violence. What is it that I need to do? Just as Carl, with him, being a pillar within our church, Eastern Star, people know that they can go to them. If it's something that, from a church standpoint that they need to ask a question, there he is. You can go to him. Tracy, the IT guru, you know what I'm saying? Tanisha, with her, being the individual that galvanized us together, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing, or hey, this event is going on. How can you help us to promote this? So presentation is everything. It is everything.
Y'all got me. I'm full over here. I feel like I need a hamburger or something. I'm full. Although I have lost, I've lost a few pounds, in the last.
Come on, Jimmy.
But hey, you know what? We coming to the, to the end of the hour here, the 30-minute hour, half of the hour, and so this is your commercial, firm. This is your commercial. What do you tell people outside of what you already said about, this is what we do? What message do you brand yourself today? What message do you want to leave for the people before we get out of here?
I'll defer to Nisha on that.
We all will.
Pressure.
I know, right? Everything that we say, everything that we do put God first. So we have to be a representation of him first. If we're not going to make it.
I heard that. I appreciate y'all today.
Thank
you.
The
firm, ladies and gentlemen, the firm.
Thank you for having us.
I got one more
thing
to say. So the firm is celebrating their 1-year anniversary. So we will be on the rooftop of the Cannonball Lounge on September 30th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So please come out to the Cannonball Lounge and celebrate with us.
Y'all need an MC?
It's free. We want folks we want to network. We want to make those connections.
Y'all need to buy the microphone? Okay.
Come on out, JD, and grab the microphone.
We're excited. Everybody come out.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, you set the precedence tonight, so why not run with
it?
Hey,
I know, right?
I never found a mic I didn't like, Hey, so repeat this again. So the Cannonball Lounge, what's the date again?
It's September 30th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And it's at 141 East Washington Street on the rooftop of Hotel Indy.
There you go.
It's free. You want people to come out.
It's free and open to the public.
Hey, Cannonball Lounge, y'all. Come on out. Have a good time. I'll probably be there. And they said they're going to have a mic for me. So I'm going to get there probably super early. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
I'm excited. Hey, again, thank you all so much for opening up this door again. I mean, like I said, the door was there, but I'm like, I got to get in. But then, hey, we here. So I'm gonna keep this thing rolling.
Appreciate it.
Go to the wheels fall off.
So much.
No, thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, we will talk to you all soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Information. They were able to talk a bit about who they are, and I think it's important to be able to have resources in our communities, particularly when people are from Gary, Indiana, to represent venues and opportunities in Indianapolis and Gary. And so again, we want to see you at the Cannonball Lounge coming up. It's going to be a good time. I know I'm going to be there. So until next time, we'll see you. I'm your man, James the Orator. Poor preparation promotes poor performance, and poor performance promotes pain, which can potentially prohibit you from progressing to your purpose. Have a good one. Peace.